Okay, I'm going to do a swing analysis here today of Jessica Korda. Just want to say she's a tall, athletic player. She's the older sister of the Korda sisters, and she has a nice free-flowing swing here. So we're going to take a look at her driver swing here from a face-on view and just look at some techniques that she's using. So you can see on the screen here I've illustrated a yellow line and a blue line that's made kind of a little half circle here. So what that's representing is the yellow line is her backswing, where the club head is during the backswing, and the blue line as she transitions is where her club head is during her downswing. So you can see she's getting a nice wide to narrow arc there on the way back and as she transitions down. So what this is, call this Pac-Man, that's another terminology for this. And this helps a player get time in their swing, establish good width, and this gives them an opportunity to create more club head speed. Alright, we're just going to take a quick look at her setup just to see what's going on here. As I zoom in on her grip, you can see her left hand's kind of in a neutral to slightly weak position. The line's kind of running at her chin. Right hand looks like it's placed well on the grip. Arms look to be hanging well underneath of her here. You see her hands are positioned just slightly near the inside of the left leg. Club's leaning back just a little bit. Alright, if I draw the lines up from her feet here, you can see she's favoring this left side a little bit. For instance, how much closer the left knee is to it. And you can see that she's braced a little bit of weight here into the left side, and that's leveled out her shoulders just a touch. But she still has a launching angle in those shoulders. You can also notice she's taken on a pretty wide stance here for her driver. Give her some good balance throughout her swing. You can see the feet are just a little bit laid off here. So overall the setup's pretty good. So let's get into her swing here. We're going to just focus on her body here first. So I'm going to mark her left hip, left knee, right knee. Then I'll draw a line up here from her right side. And then I'm also just going to mark kind of the bill of her cap here. And then we can use the blue line as a measure for the top of her head. So we'll go ahead and just wind her up here. You can see her hands kind of just start the motion a little, but her body syncs up right away, especially her upper body starts to coil with it. You can see her lower body stays kind of stable and a little bit resistant at this moment. You can already see the bill of her cap is starting to swivel a little as her head is slightly starting to drop. See, she's doing a good job of staying on inside that line on the right side where the weight's kind of staying on the inside of the right foot. You can see the left side though, she's allowing the freedom of that to kind of unwind. So as we've arrived at the top, you can see now that the bill of her cap is kind of swiveled off in this position. This is allowing her to make this huge shoulder turn here. And you can see that she's allowed her hips to coil and some freedom there, but she's definitely turning this kind of against her lower body there for her power. See, she's done a good job still staying on the inside of this right leg, and like we were mentioning, the left side has drifted away just a touch. Now as we go to unwind into the shot, you can see immediately she starts to get off this right leg. Okay, so you can see the right leg starting to drive into the shot. You see the weight starting to flow to the left. You know, she's doing a good job of this kind of as the club is in its transition. So she's setting up a good sequence. You see now the weight starting to get back to its original position there on the left hip. You can see her head is now lower where she's kind of went down into that left side there. Okay, from here she's really starting to unwind her core and the left leg starting to post up. She really doesn't get back out in front of her original line, kind of right back to it. Left leg starting to post to give her something to balance to hit against here. Like we said, the right leg's still doing a good job of driving, and she's done a great job here with her right foot of not spinning out on it. You can see here her upper body's really connected to the club here as she's releasing and going towards her finish. You can see how athletic she is, the type of balance she's able to hold, and the range of motion she has in her swing. Okay, so let's now take a look at the club and her arms here to see what's going on there. Like we said, her hands kind of start the motion just a little. Her upper body catches up and syncs up right away. You can see there with the yellow line she's getting good width off her takeaway. Alright, as her left arm gets parallel to the ground, you can see she's formed pretty much a 90-degree set here. So Just allowing some good hinge on the club at that moment. As she arrives at the top, one thing I notice with her is she does a good job of allowing her left shoulder, left hand, and club head kind of arrive at the same time. It's something Bernhard Longer always stressed on, the importance of that. You can see here her allowing her body to get into the left side. That's allowing the club and hands kind of just fall freely with gravity. And she's doing a great job here of keeping extension on this left arm, keeping excellent lag here on this club to get a very narrow arc down. You can see the lag still being held. You can see kind of this angle she has set here with her left arm and right arm. You can see those angles have kept their identity all the way down into their downswing here. Now as we arrive right before impact, or if you look at the club shaft here now, you can kind of see the stress on it bending that way. And that is how a shaft bends prior to impact. Now when you look at this, you can still see the right arm slightly tucked. You can see the left arm is really extended out in front. She goes to release. Her hands are kind of rolling over at a nice rate with her body here, so nothing's forced. Right, she's getting a good extension. The club's flicking off at a good rate here. All in all, it's a nice free-flowing swing. Like I said, she's very athletic, has a nice range of motion, and has a good sense of kind of rhythm and balance to her golf swings. Okay, that was Jessica Korda. I enjoyed taking a look at her swing today. Hopefully you all could pick up some tips here that can help you in your own game, and you all have a good day now. Thank you.